WTF and welcome back to my channel. I don't know whether I can say that with whether I can pull it off. I kind of feel a bit, anyway, it's said now, it's done. So, today's topic is going to be about mental health. Now, trigger warning, if that has any kind of negative impact on you or how you're feeling, then please feel free to join me in the next video. I won't be offended. It's okay. I just wouldn't want to make anybody feel upset or hurt in any way. So if you're leaving us now, then bye-bye. And if you're staying, then fantastic. I am going to be talking about a mental health issue that I have, which is called borderline personality disorder. So, borderline personality disorder, it is, I guess, not as spoken about as other disorders. I was first diagnosed 15 years ago, so I've had a while to get my head around it. I didn't. I guess it took me a good 10 years to kind of wrap my head around what it means. So 5 years of probably accepting who I am, what I'm capable of, and trying to learn coping mechanisms for the things that get me, instead of just lashing out and then using the BPD as an excuse for poor behaviour. Sorry, I had to go and clean my glasses. They are filthy and I don't know where they get the muck from. Anyway, so back to BPD. So I guess if you were to Google BPD, one of the first things you're going to come up with is various characters in film and TV that have BPD, and boy oh boy, it's a list. The first person that's on the list is Anakin Skywalker or Darth Vader. Yeah. Sure feels good. The second person that comes up, or people I should say, are Cersei. I'm sorry, I don't watch it. Cersei and Jaime Lannister from Game of Thrones, which, as I say, I've never seen, but it says incestuous twins, so that can't be good. I guess the main one that comes up when you Google it is Alex from Fatal Attraction. Now, for maybe younger people who haven't seen Fatal Attraction, it's a classic 80s film, and even though you may not have seen it, you probably know the phrase bunny boiler. Now, I think every woman of a certain age has been called a bunny boiler at some point by some man. And, you know, you kind of bat it off thinking, oh God, no, I'm not. So when I first read that, you're like, whoa, I'm a legitimate certified bunny boiler. That can't be good. So yeah, that's the first thing that you find out about BPD. So, I've made a few notes, by the way, because the old post-pregnancy brain does not retain information like it once did. So you see me kind of looking down or to the side or something, that's what I'm doing, because I don't want to mess this up and say something silly. I mean, I'm sure I will, because silly is kind of my default setting. But anyway, okay, so when you are diagnosed, you have to fulfill 5 of 9 criterias. So again, I'm just going to read them. The first one is fear of abandonment. Now, my fear of abandonment came from, I unfortunately lost my daddy. He passed away when I was 12 years of age. And my mum soon got in a relationship with another man who moved in like 6 weeks after daddy had died. And my mum, I later found out, was suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, so I do want to preference that first. But she had become completely obsessed with this man, who in turn was completely emotionally and physically abusive to me. I mean, my life was made hell from the minute I got up to the minute I went to sleep, and sometimes in the night too. It was just brutal. Emotional abuse wasn't kind of recognised as it thankfully is today. And the physical abuse I endured, you know, was to put manners on me, and because I wasn't the problem. I was in his house, you know, he was in my house. He'd moved into our house, but I was in his house and I was making trouble and everything else. So I guess I lost my daddy, and then 2 months later I lost my mum to this man, and I lost my home to this man, and I lost everything in one fell swoop. And as a child, that's so frightening, that it left me with a deep-seated fear of abandonment that has kept me in jobs I shouldn't have been in, has kept me in friendships I shouldn't still have been in, kept me in relationships that I definitely shouldn't have been in. But I was so frightened of being left alone and not being loved that it drove me to crazy, crazy places. The second one is an unstable relationship. So as I say, I stayed in relationships, in jobs, in friendships I shouldn't have been in. But again, it goes back to fear of abandonment. I couldn't possibly imagine not having a job, not having friends, not having anything. And even though I felt I didn't deserve these things because I was inherently evil and all the things I had been told, and, you know, I just thought that nearly like I was conning these people into, you know, I'm not really good at my job, but I've somehow conned you into thinking I am. I'm not really a nice person, but I've conned you into thinking I am. And it really messed with my sense of self. The next is unclear or shifting self-image. So like I say, I'd be thinking that I pulled one over on somebody, that, oh my God, this person thinks I'm nice and I'm so not. Ha ha ha. Oh God, I'm not nice. I'm a terrible person. Oh God, I deserve to die. And that's how quickly things could shift. I mean, one example I would give people about how quickly BPD emotions can change is if somebody walked past me in a shop and said, oh, hey, how you doing? I love your hair today. Instead of me going, oh wow, what a lovely compliment, my brain would automatically go, oh, what a bitch. She obviously didn't like my hair the last time she seen me. Oh my God, she mustn't have ever liked my hair. Oh my God, what a bitch to say that to me. Oh my God, what if she's not a bitch? What if I'm the bitch? Oh my God, she hates my hair. Oh my God, I can never go out in public again. Oh my God, how did I wear my hair last time? It was in a ponytail, right? And I can never wear a ponytail again because it makes me ugly. Oh my God, I don't deserve to be here. Oh my God, what a bitch for making me feel like this. How could she do this to me? And that's the kind of cycle I would go on. Then instead of just taking an innocuous comment at face value for what it was, I would spiral off into these mad tangents that would, you know, at one point led to a breakdown and me not leaving the house for 2 years. Because I just couldn't face people. I couldn't let them see me because I was ugly and fat and horrible, and who was I to subject that horror to the world. The next is self-harm. And as you can see from where my head used to be at, self-harm was not that far past me. Self-harm can take different approaches. I mean, it can be from things like binge drinking, taking drugs, binge eating. You know, these things are self-harm, whether some people accept it or not. It's harming your body. It's doing something to yourself in a destructive pattern. I always knew I had an addictive personality, so I was very fortunate that I was strong enough to say no, primarily to drugs that were offered to me, because I don't think I'd be here if I hadn't. But I definitely binge drank. I definitely binge ate. Still do. Still one of my go-tos. But my form of self-harm was burning, which a lot of people, again, don't associate as self-harm. They think cutting and that's it. And I mean, even that caused me anxiety, because I was like, oh my God, why can't I cut myself? Why am I not normal? Why do I have to burn myself? Instead of recognizing that a destructive pattern is a destructive pattern, I chastised myself for doing that wrong. The next symptom is extreme emotional mood swings. So, as I said in my previous one, keep jumping ahead, my mood swings would go like the things at a car wash, like ran around till I got from point A to point Z. You know, no, that doesn't make sense. What am I trying to say? I would go from point A to point B, but instead of just going vroom, vroom, I'd go ding, 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 like a pinball first. Chronic feelings of emptiness. So, yeah, I definitely had that. I would feel not worthy. I would feel not good enough. I would feel like nobody would ever love me. And that I was just the shell of a person putting on an act every time I left the house. And that there was really nothing behind my eyes. Which is a very sad place to be. I'm sure a lot of people can identify with that feeling. The next is explosive anger. I definitely had this. I have definitely had many explosive rows, arguments, fights in my life. I could be the most vicious person in the world. I could take, you know, the tiniest thing and manifest it into such bile to hurt people because I felt they had hurt me. And it makes me ashamed when I look back at things I've said to people, because I guess I'm not ashamed of the words, because I had no control over them. It is an illness. I have shame on the fact that I didn't get a tighter hold on myself. I didn't get the help I needed. I refused it. I ran away from it. So that's where I guess the shame comes in, that I allowed myself to let this demon out and not hold myself accountable for my actions. The next is feeling suspicious and out of touch with reality, which again, totally. I have a terrible habit of zoning out. Now, this is a dissociative tendency that people with BPD tend to have. And it's when your brain is triggered by some upsetting memory, some perceived slight, some worrying aspect of life, that our brains literally close down because we're trying to protect ourselves and we're trying to get back to a healthy ground to stand on to try and figure out this thing. And unfortunately, for a lot of people, that literally means dissociating from the environment you're in. And I would do that frequently. I mean, John's constantly turning around to me going, where have you gone? Are you okay? And it's because something's come into my head and I've switched off for 5 or 10 minutes while I process, which when you love somebody and they love you, it's not the biggest thing. You know, he's very understanding, thank God. Whereas if you're doing it in the middle of a conversation with somebody you barely know, like if you're, I would do it at work sometimes, and customers, I was in retail, by the way, customers would be, you know, feel I was rude or ignorant. Bosses would chastise me and, you know, have a go at me because I was rude and I was ignorant and I was arrogant and I was this and I was that, and I wasn't. I was ill, I was in pain, I was ill, and I was dissociating. But, you know, it's hard to explain that to somebody in the middle of a rant. The next, oh, that's it, sorry, that's it. So they're the 9. When I was first diagnosed, I had all 9. I hit every box. Thankfully now, with CBT, with medication, with everything else, I probably have 4 that still kind of plague me. So I feel I'm in a really healthy place because of that. It's, as I say, through therapy, through medication, through finding my soulmate to support me and stand beside me and hold me up when I need it. And I guess I'm at a good place where I can discuss this openly, and I hope that it gives somebody else hope that, you know, if they've been diagnosed or recently diagnosed or whatever, and they're having a hard time coming to terms with it, you can get a hold on things. You know, I don't have explosive anger anymore. I have learned coping mechanisms to walk away and to process before I react to something. I don't have a fear of abandonment anymore. You know, I don't have an unhealthy fear of abandonment, I probably should say. I mean, obviously you don't want somebody to leave you, but you're not gonna, you know, start to harm yourself or harm them if they do, which I used to do. I don't have impulsive or self-destructive behaviour anymore. I don't binge drink. I don't, you know, drive my car at 100 miles an hour and not care if I crash. I don't, you know, I went through a stage of shoplifting when I was a kid just because I didn't care. I did not care what happened to me. And, you know, that's a sad state to be in, when you really don't care if you live or die, which, you know, now I do. Now I want to live. Now I have my children to live for. I have my partner to live for. And a different perspective on life definitely can ground you and bring you back to reality. So yeah, I guess that's my experience with BPD. It's not the worst thing in the world. It doesn't have to ruin your life. You can get past things. I mean, I don't self-harm anymore at all, because I learned how to talk about things. And I guess that's the main thing to take from this this video, is if you are experiencing any of these symptoms, if you are having trouble in your life, if you're not experiencing anything of these, you just don't feel right, you know, get help and take the help, because it's there. It's, you know, it's free most of the time, and it can save your life. It saved my life, absolutely. And I guess what I'm trying to say is there's no reason to be afraid. You know, I get migraines, get terrible migraines, but not as bad as I used to when I was a kid. When I was a teenager, I used to get terrible migraines. Took medicine, learnt the triggers that gave me migraines, and I avoid them. I learnt the triggers that set off my BPD, and I avoid them. I take medication, and really, in my head, the two are the same. you know? They're just something in you, and they're something that can be controlled and something that you can work with, that don't have to define you. So, if you have any more questions about BPD, if you want to learn more, like I did a load of research, so I'd know what to say, and I haven't really used any of it, because I don't want to bore you. But maybe you're interested, and maybe you'd like a second video on my experience of what the books say. Let me know, and I'll happily make one. Or if this is just giving you a bit of perspective, then that's great. And I would love for you to comment underneath. I would love to hear your opinions and, you know, open a dialogue about this, because depression gets spoke about a lot, anxiety gets spoke about a lot, bipolar gets spoke about a lot, you know, postnatal depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, all these different things I feel get spoken about a lot, which is good, which is right, and which should be. But I feel like BPD needs to nudge in there too. And I guess, yeah, that's it. So if you did enjoy this video, like and subscribe down below, and I will talk to you soon. Bye bye.